Alzheimer's is a relatively common neurodegenerative disease that involves a loss of memory and difficulty in thinking or understanding. You may have heard that Alzheimer's is caused from age, but that is not true. Age is actually a risk factor, so it doesn't happen to people because they are old. It can be caused by genetics or environmental factors. In the brain, it's caused by these proteins called beta amyloid. Abnormal levels of this protein clump together to form plaques called senile plaques that collect between neurons. The problem with this is that neurons are vital in sending information through the brain and nervous system, and the beta amyloid plaques that form disrupt these connections between neurons. This can damage a person's ability to think and remember, which are common symptoms of Alzheimer's. Another protein called tau also builds up in areas related to memory. Normally, the protein helps stabilize the microtubules, which provide the structure for cells, but sometimes these proteins detach from the microtubules and clump, forming tangles inside the neurons. This blocks the neuron's transport system, which harms the synaptic connection between neurons, which are the chemical signals and messages released from one neuron to another. Malformations eventually lead to the death of neurons and parts of the brain start to shrink. This process of a significant loss in brain volume is also called brain atrophy. Brain atrophy, especially in the hippocampus, which is the area of the brain related to memory, causes a loss of memory and other common symptoms of Alzheimer's. There is currently no cure for Alzheimer's, but there are some medicines that can lessen the symptoms temporarily. Donepezil, rivastigmine, and galantamine are examples of drugs that prevent acetylcholine, which is a type of neurotransmitter involved in learning and memory, from breaking down. Therefore, there is a higher concentration of acetylcholine in the brain, which leads to an increase of communication between neurons. For the future, anti-amyloid therapies are the goal, which reduce the number of beta amyloid, which, if you remember, form plaques that disrupt the connections between neurons. The goal is to prevent the formation of the plaques so that people with Alzheimer's can live healthier for longer.